Hi everyone, welcome to this week's open boat. The winter is upon us and it is my favorite fishing season, and a lot of you guys will be like, what are you fishing for in the winter? It's snowing out. Blackfish. Going out on the boat and blackfishing in the freezing cold temperatures, you can't beat it, ever. It's the best. Don't fight me on that because I will win. I love blackfishing in the winter. So for a lot of beginners, there's a lot of questions on, should I rig fish or should I jig fish? I don't know what I need for blackfishing. So in this week's open boat, I'm going to give you guys both some tips and tricks for both jig fishing and rig fishing. Now to start, this is my Blackfish jigging rod. It's very familiar to you open boat viewers because I had it during a fluking video for pitching up current. So this is a very versatile rod. It's the St. Croix Legend Extreme. It has a nice backbone to it, and it has that sensitive tip to feel the blackfish when I'm jigging. So when you're jig fishing, you want a light spinning setup. You could do braid from 15 to 30 pound, and then for leader, I do like either 30 or 40 pound, and I'll just direct tie it onto a jig. So when you pick out your jigs, there's a million different jig companies out there. There's Bottom Sweepers, Magic Tails, S&S. Pick a jig that has a strong, sharp hook, and when you're dropping down, that jig lays flat with the bait on top. Make sure it doesn't flop to the side. Make sure it's nicely balanced. And what I like about jig fishing, you're going to be using this in more shallow water, not super duper deep. Lighter jigs, you're able to finesse the jig, and a lot of the times it's cool when blackfish hit a jig, the bigger ones will literally pick it up and swim off with it. So fighting a hefty blackfish on a lighter spinning setup is just a lot of fun. So now that we just went over some different tips and tricks for jig fishing for blackfish, I'm going to talk about rig fishing for blackfish. So this is my conventional rod here. I love this. I've brought it to a couple fluke seminars because I also use this for fluking. Heavy setup, it can handle. It's got an excellent backbone. I call it the boom stick. This rod is very, very tough, and it gets bent beyond belief when you got a big blackfish on it. So it's very fun to see that happen. But going back to the rig I use, you have a ton of different rigs you can use for blackfishing. You have a single hook rig, a snafu, slider rigs, the whole 9 yards. So what I like to use, it's called the Belmar rig. I have it tied on here. Basically, the Belmar rig is just a slider rig. You have the 2 hook, one snelled, one loose, and then you have that sinker that you use to attach it onto your top shot. So that's your whole rig. And what's nice about the 2 hook is like you can cut a crab in half and then put one on each hook, more bait down at the bottom for the fish to get attracted to. So a tip with blackfishing a rig rod, you're going to be using this in deeper water, like 100 feet of water. So you're going to want to have 40 to 80 pound leader on here, like your top shot and everything. And you want to have a lot of top shots spooled onto your reel, just in case you have more to tie on as you go. And a very helpful tip, shout out to Rudy for teaching me this, when you drop down to the bottom, you don't want to have your line completely tight. You want to let a little bit out. So when you're seeing your line as it goes into the water, there's a little bit of a curve. It's not going straight down. You have that little bit of a curve, so you don't get snagged up as easily. You have that little space so you're not getting immediately caught up on the wreck. So those were some little tips and tricks on blackfish rigging and jigging. So I would recommend, if you're going out blackfishing, get yourself both a spinning and a conventional setup. And practice makes perfect. Blackfish are a very challenging fish to catch. So you want to be hyper focused on when you're trying to feel that bite and know when to set the hook. Good luck, everyone, and I'll catch you on next week's open boat.